Good evening, everybody.
How do you? Good evening, ladies and germs.
Well, normally for the CCC for the last few years we've had Discon, where we play recordings, but we're doing something a little different, although we did do this some years ago. The last musician that we had playing here was Spiegel Wilcox. So you've got a big act to follow.
Yeah, the solo? Did you do a solo turn?
No, we didn't.
No.
Anyhow, there's not really a lot I can say about our special guest this evening. I mean, he's so well known. Marty Grossz, I've had the great fortune to play with Marty when he came up here to play with Jeff Healey's Jazz Wizards. In fact, he was on the last album, which was great. And I also did a CBC broadcast, if you remember. It went down very well. So we have Marty Grossz will be here to play a couple of sets, and of course we have another special guest. Tom Pletcher is going to be sitting in for both sets at some stage. So let's have a big hand for Marty Grossz.
I can't believe that there's as many people as this whose TV sets don't work. We know how you feel. This bar stool, this is a funny bar stool. This is strange. It's a sinking bar stool. And they usually they're like, you know, this is the slip proof. You get pretty bombed and you don't fall off.
It's still going down.
Is it sinking?
Yeah.
The bar stool is sinking in
There, okay. Now you're all right.
Okay.
Just don't move.
Okay. Don't move. I'll try not to. Well, it's a wonderful audience. It looks like the waiting room at Toronto General. A little merriment for the shut-ins. Okay. Thinking man's music. Porto-San, that's Esperanto, the international language that very few people understand. All God's children got rhythm. All God's children got swing. Many haven't got money, many haven't got shoes. All God's children got rhythm to chase away the blues. All God's children got trouble. Trouble don't mean a thing, mean a thing. When you start to go holding, troubles all go away. Say, all God's children got swing. Maybe haven't got money, maybe haven't got shoes. All God's children got rhythm, chase away the blues. All God's children got trouble. Trouble don't mean a thing, mean a thing. When you start to go hody, ho, trouble's all go away. Say, all God's children got all those infants' clothes. All God's children got one more sweet. Thank you. Now I'm going to do a song. This was a song I saw, that picture of John R.T. Davies with the Temperance 7 earlier this afternoon. Those of you who were paying attention, were awake, might remember that. And it reminds me that this song, I had records of this song, I'd heard this song, and I knew on the old recordings it said, you know, composed by some words, music so-and-so, lyrics so-and-so. I knew there were lyrics to it, but I couldn't find them. I didn't know where to get them, and I couldn't find a record. I mean, I'm not a deep collector. Let's put it this way, you guys probably know 20 versions of this song, but I just only collected usually what gave me immense pleasure and what I needed to learn something. And so I didn't have to have all this, you know, all the records in a series of something that somebody did, you know, like a stamp collector, got to fill that little niche, whether it was a particularly interesting piece of music or not. Sorry about that. And so, but I wanted the words to this song because I liked it, so finally, in desperation, I'd ask everybody. I didn't even know there was a, you know, sheet music collectors, and there was no email at this time, and I didn't even know where you find anything or look up anything like this, record collectors or something. Now you can get it done. I can't do it, but my son does it for me. You can get it on the computer, you know, under collecting habits or something, some category or another, and then you find there are collectors people who collect spoons. Actually, I used to collect stuff, but I don't need anymore. This is the truth. I used to collect a certain kind of military insignia. I started collecting when I was about 12 years old, and I used to go to get a publication, and there are actually people who collected dog tags, which is, no kidding, and that's a hobby. I mean, that's infinite in its possibility. You can do that for the rest of your life and never feel that you've reached the bottom of the barrel. It's God's truth. Dog tags, can you imagine?
Of course.
Yeah, okay. You're reading the script good there. Anyway, so I finally, in desperation, I did write a note to John R.T. Davies, and I said, if anybody would know, he would know. I mean, I didn't know that there are many other people that, like you, that would know too, because I didn't know that. He's the only guy I knew. And so I wrote John R.T. Davies, and I didn't hear anything for months. And then one day, UPS delivered a wooden crate. And I said, what the hell? Who's sending me what now, you know? And a guy with a hand truck delivered it and stuff. And I went down the basement, and I have my burglary tools are down there. And I got the jimmy and the crowbar. I opened it up, and there, packed in Excelsior, you know, in wood shavings, was written on cuneiform tablets. Inscribed were the words to this song. That's how old it is. And jazz did not originate at the New Orleans, you know, at the Mississippi Delta. It was at the confluence of the Tigris and the Euphrates, at that delta. And anyway, this is the song. It went something like this. Take me to that land of jazz. Let me hear the kind of blues that Memphis has. I want to step to a tune that's full of ginger and pep. Pick 'em up, lay 'em down. Let me hear that razzmatazz. I want to give you fair warning. I won't be home before morning. Everybody loves a jazz bowl in the loving land of jazz. Oh, in that loving land of jazz. Oh, take me to that land of jazz. Tell me the kind of blues Memphis has. I want to step to a tune that's full of ginger and pep. Pick 'em up, lay 'em down. Let me hear that razzmatazz. I want to give you fair warning. I won't be home before morning, no. Everybody loves a jazz bowl in the land of jazz. Oh, in that loving land of jazz. Let me hear the kind of blues that Greenwich, Connecticut has. I want to step to a tune that's full of ginger and pep. Oh, pick them up, Muffy. Lay them down, Binky. Let me hear that razzmatazz. I've got to give you fair warning. I won't be home until morning. I'm having my tennis racket restrung. Oh, everybody loves a jazz bowl in the loving land of jazz. Oh, in my loving land of jazz, yes. Take me to that land of jazz. Let me hear the kind of blues Memphis has. I want to step to a tune that's full of ginger and pep. Pick up, lay it down. Let me hear that razzmatazz. I want to give you fair warning. I won't be home before morning. No, everybody loves a jazz bowl in the loving land of jazz. Oh, in that loving land of jazz. Oh, in that loving land of jazz. Oh, take me to that land of jazz, 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 jazz. Take me to that land of jazz. number, music, the tune sleuths here will know this, recognize this song immediately. It's a song written by Fred Astaire, who only wrote about 2 or 3 songs. And they're all pretty nice. In fact, the sheet music guys, I've got to get the other song. Maybe I'll talk to them after this, and they can supply me with a piece of the music manuscript paper copied out in a very delicate hand with an ordinary Gillet's pen. Pen point. You remember the kind of pen? Did you go to the school, same kind of schools I went to? Underheated? No, I learned with a wooden pen holder and steel pens that they gave you. They handed you out at the Board of Education. And here all these kiddies, you know, what are you, 7, 8 years old or something? And they're putting holes in the paper, trying to make all those whorls. And, well, I'm trying to get that out of the way. So this is written by Fred Astaire, with music by Fred Astaire, words by Johnny Mercer. Well, that remains to be seen. We mustn't put the cart before the horse with these matters. It's very important. I'm like Humpty Dumpty, sitting on the wall. I'm flying high, but who can deny whatever goes up must fall? Poor old Humpty Dumpty, he got the dust off his brake, but his little fall was nothing at all like the tumble I'm gonna take. I'm building up to an awful letdown by playing around with you. You're breaking down my terrific build-up by treating me as you do. My castle's in the air, my smile's so debonair, my one great love affair. Is it all a flash or all a smash like the 1929 market crash? I'm building up to an awful letdown by falling in love with you. Breaking down my terrific build-up by treating me as you do. My castle's in the air, my smile so debonair, my one great love affair. Is it all a flash? Is it all gonna smash like the 1929 market crash? I'm building up to an awful letdown by falling in love, tumbling, sliding, slipping, careening willy-nilly, falling. I fell. Let's see. Oh yes, quite. Yes. Good show. Very good. Yes, I'd like to do a medley of songs by that ponderous pachyderm of the piano, that elephantine elf of the ivories, that mastodon of mirth, that caliph of the keys, that sultan of the Steinway, that Bowana of the Basendorfer, that guru of the gruppettos, that emir of the escape tones, that pasha of the Praltira, that Hammurabi of Hatcha, that wazir of Whoopi, nay, I might even say, that Nebuchadnezzar of nonsense, Thomas Fatswaller.
How about that?
Yes. Let's build up the Evergarden. And these, only one of them was recorded by the maestro himself. The other two were not recorded. Because, you know, Fats wrote over 450 compositions in his brief and exciting lifetime. I don't know when he found the time to do it, but these are three by Fats, only one of which, the first one he did record himself. The other two, other people recorded. The insidious A&R man about, we and Tom Pletcher and I, we were talking about, the insidious A&R man, of course, realized they had a cash cow in Fats. They'd throw him all these terrible tunes, and he'd make gold out of dross. And, you know, I mean, if you ever looked at if you ever were handed, if you'd never heard it, and were handed sheet music copies, as Fats was, of some of these turkeys, like Your Feet's Too Big, and a couple of others that come to mind, but not, unfortunately don't come to mind right now. I mean, it's nothing.
Louisiana Fairy Tale.
Well, his production, yeah, his production, his version of his asides, his running commentary and stuff, make the tunes. They make them work, made them big hits for people. When if you just sat your Aunt Tilly down at the piano and said, play this, you know, play Your Feet's Too Big, he said, what the hell is this? Nothing. And yet he made it into a big hit for himself because he was not only a great piano player and a masterful composer, but he was a terrific, what would you call it, comedian, singer, vocalist, comedian. He was a terrific reworker of material, making something out of it, making it happen. And that's why I'm here. I'm here to de-accelerate. I'm back to return these songs to their original apathetic and dull beginnings. No, these are written by Fats, so of course they have some meat into them. If you pardon, you play on the, you know, Fats or meat. I like the intro so far. I had no romance, no heavenly bliss. I never wanted a goodnight kiss. Then all at once, up jumped you with love. I read when in school of the bees and the flowers. I also heard of the spring and the showers. And all at once, up jumped you with love, 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 love. Something happened to me quickly. Something made my heart act sickly. I knew then and there that strictly love had priority. I needed no stars, I wanted no moon. I always thought it was dumb to spoon. And all at once, up jumped you with love, 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 love. get sickly. I knew then that strictly love had priority. I wanted no stars, I needed no moon. I always thought it was dumb to spoon. And all at once, up jumped you. It was a mess, I'll tell you. Oh, a disaster. I couldn't keep you away from me. It was terrible. First you knocked down my door, and then you pinned me to the floor. What was I to do, my darling? But now, everything's changed. Oh, the skies are rosy. I'm so happy. Oh. Ain't you glad that we waited for each other? Ain't you glad that we waited for each other every day? We agree. Life is just a symphony of perfect harmony. Ain't you glad how we get along together? Ain't you glad we got live in stormy weather? Folks declare, what a pair. They can see we're happy. Ain't you glad? Ooh. Just like two lovers on picture covers, in spite of sun or rain. We find romance where every street we meet is lovers' lane. Ain't you glad that our kisses keep their flavor? Ain't you glad everything is in our favor? Every day we can say everything is rosy. Ain't you glad? I'll think of the words later. Keep a song in your soul when your castles tumble down. Keep a song in your soul. We'll substitute another song. The words are still in the plane. Keep a song in your soul. Oh, when the dark clouds gather round, that's no time to wear a frown. Don't let it down. Keep a song in your soul. When your castles tumble down, that's okay. Keep a song in your soul. If you only heed my story, you'll be introduced to glory, glory. Always keep this point of view. Anything that bothers you disappears like the morning dew if you just keep a song in your soul. If you'll only heed my story, you'll be introduced to glory, glory. Always keep this point of view. Anything that happens bothers you goes away like the morning dew. If you just keep a song in your soul, oh, keep a song in your soul, oh, keep a song in your soul, yeah, keep it in there. Don't let it out. Keep a song in your soul. Let them keep a song that you found. Keep a song in your soul. Yeah. You drink.
breakfast if I'd like to play a tune or two. And naturally I jumped at the occasion, and then we discovered that between the two of us, we know at least 11,000 tunes. After breakfast, it was also determined that there are only 3 that we know together. And this happens to be one of them, and it happens to be a favorite tune of mine that I learned from one of my dad's best records with the Red Norval Orchestra, called I Would Do Most Anything for You, and I believe the wonderful the piano player Claude Hopkins wrote this tune. Am I right? You guys would know. Is this right?
His sister Miriam.
Well, I don't care anything about her. Anyway, you guys will all know this, and if I look like I'm in trouble, and I hold the hand out like this, the horn out like this, somebody come up and finish off the tune for me. Do I have time to warm up for 4 seconds?
Of course. What do you think these?
How do I sound?
Of course you have time. Of course you have time to warm up.
Double a mellophone?
Anything jump out? All mine.
Yeah, good.
Okay.
Okay, what that feel like here, doctor?
Gonna sing this too?
I can, but not right away. Three flaps?
Sure, 3.
Okay.
Bars, I know. One more time.
Anything for you.
Tell me about it, Marty.
I would take a trip to Mars. I would even count the stars. I would do anything for you. I'd gladly pay a fortune just to see you smile. Hear you say I love you every little while. In my heart there's ecstasy. Long as you have faith in me, I would do anything for you. Yeah.
So between breakfast and lunch, Marty and I had a heated argument about if we went over together as a duo, what would we call ourselves for the next gig? And he had some suggestions, and I said, this horn doesn't fit, Marty. We might as well just call ourselves two old white guys that don't get to play enough anymore. So we'll
That's
take
good.
a
I like that.
contest.
I like that. The old white. No, I won't say it. Yeah. That might get some. That might get us some sympathy. It might get written up in AARP or something. Old white guys find new career. Oh, jeez.
Okay.
What do we now? What's going
Well, let's see. Sure.
I'll do that.
Yeah. You're gonna like his rendition of
Shall I
the.
sing? Shall I sing? I
Please.
sing C, and then I go to F.
Okay.
Which usually what everybody
Sure.
likes to play.
They're all the same to me. All I know is I start on the first vowel, whether it's the right one or not.
This song was written by a guy named Perkins, who wrote. He wrote yes, Cabin in the Cotton. He wrote.
Stars fell on. Stars fell.
Stars Fell in Alhambra. What's the one about? Oh my God, down.
These guys know.
Come on, Toon Sleuths. Perkins. There's,
He opened a chain of restaurants too.
his mother was on the radio. I remember, Mom Perkins. Anyway, here it is. Enough about that. Enough of this badinage. Onward and upward. Evening breezes hum a lullaby. There's a million candles in the sky. I put on my Sunday suit of blue, Emmaline, just for you. Here I'm standing at your garden gate, while the village clock is striking 8. Hurry up, hurry down, honey, don't be late. Can't you hear my heart whisper at your window, Emmaline? It's a lovely day, Emmaline, to meander with me. Da, 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 have you told your friends? Have you told your people, Emmaline? Hurry up and write them a line about the wedding to be. In the church there's an old bell ringer, just waiting for that time when I put that ring around your finger, making you mine. All I do is pray for that Sunday morning sun to shine, when I promenade down the line, hand in hand with Emmaline. Da-di-da, da-di-da-di-da. bridge. Up to 5 flats. All I do is pray for that Monday morning, Sunday morning sun to shine. When I promenade down the line, hand in hand with EMALINE. Hand in hand with EMALINE. One, two, a rump-dumpy-doo. Baby, squeeze me and kiss me again. Baby, don't stop till I tell you when. Little Cupid is standing close by. Don't let your sweet daddy cry. Baby, squeeze me and kiss me some more, just the way you did before. Pick me up, oh babe, on your knee. Whoa, babe, I get so old, you know I do, when you squeeze me.
Yes. Yes.
B flat, the consensus is B flat.
If we don't C sharp, we'll B flat. Okay. Okay. You're gonna do it.
From Monday on, I'll be in clover. We pick on Monday because it's wash day. So we'll wash all our blues away, all of that. From Monday on, the skies'll look bright. Don't tell me different, I know I'm right. I'm gonna start shouting, hey, hey, when she says love, honor, and obey, 'cause I'll be happy from Monday on. Record collectors, get this. I have a little clip of tape that was made for me by a friend of the who was doing some work for the Jazz Institute, and they have a bunch of Roger Wolfe Kahn broadcasts from like '33, and lo and behold, I'm listening to the Roger Wolfe Kahn band playing Tiger Rag, and who pops up? Bud Freeman. Wow. Playing great. And then a little later, there's Katie, what was that Katie song that Rolini recorded?
Waiting for Katie.
Waiting at the Gate for Katie.
Right.
Not Waiting for Katie, that's a good song, but Waiting at the Gate for Katie is terrible. Waiting at the Gate for Katie. That dumb thing. And they got McKenzie singing. Apparently he was just a jobbing vocalist. He sang singing with the on a radio show with the Roger Wolfe Kahn Orchestra. Yes. And you have the I'm sure you have the broadcast where there's I like to find recordings that air shots and stuff that have interesting things going on around them. So somebody sent me one of these years ago, and it's 1936, and it's from a broadcast from Chicago. This is the WGN in Chicago, something like that. And we're privileged to have whatever his name was. Knox was his name. He was the publisher of the Chicago Daily News, and he was that year's Republican vice presidential candidate, and with Alf Landon, on the ticket with Alf Landon. And the convention had been in Detroit, and he hadn't been around for the vote. He had to go get back early, and so they brought him up to the studio and informed him that he had been nominated. I guess they planned a lot of airspace, getting a politician up there. They figured naturally we're going to have a good half hour out of this guy, and he was very short. and said, thank you very much, I'm very pleased to get the news and the faith that the party has in me and stuff, and I will do my best on a job, thank you very much, and thank you, goodbye. And he's out of there, and quick, you know, I can see that the Hurley Saloon, which was in the Radio City Music Hall, where all the studio musicians hung out, I can see, you know, somebody could, get your ass up there fast, and there it is. We now bring you. I'm sure you know this one, Joe. We now to our studios in New York, and In a Sentimental Mood with Red McKenzie. You've heard that, haven't you? Yeah, and there's Red. In a sentimental mood. And he sings the pop, you know, which I love, because jazz guys, when you're weaned on these books like Jazz Men and the Real Jazz, you know, when I was Panacea and those things, and Jazz Record Book, and some of them have some interesting things, and they're very valid stuff, but you get a really one-sided view of jazz. You know, these guys had to make a living, and they did it in all sorts of strange ways. And there's Red McKenzie singing all the tunes from, he's singing the tunes from the great Ziegfeld. You know, you, dun, 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 that one, you know, and he's singing, you know, that kind of stuff. And singing the latest tunes of the day. And I had the opinion that the old Mound City Blue Blower, you know, that I don't know where I got this opinion, that if he turned up someplace in 1938 or something, he'd be singing Arkansas Blues and Dark Tom Sutter's Ball or something. It's not the case at all. He had to go with go with the flow, as they say. I'll do a couple and then think of something.
I'll be listening.
Okay, I have a request, but I'm gonna play anyway. You see, talking about Red McKenzie. Okay, and this is another song he did, which was a hit then, from On Your Toes, in 1936. Let me see if I can remember it.
There's a small hotel by a wishing well. I wish that we were there together. There's a bridal suite, one room bright and neat, complete for us to share together. Looking through the window, I can see a distant steeple. Not a lot of people. Who wants people? There's a small hotel. When we say, oh, when the steeple, break in the film. When the steeple bell says good night, sleep well, we'll thank our small hotel together. Wishing well, I wish that we were there together. There's a bridal suite, one room, bright and neat, complete for us to share together. Looking through the window, I can see a distant steeple. people? Who wants people? When the mission bell says good night, sleep well, we'll thank that small hotel. We'll crawl into our little shell. We'll thank that small hotel together.
Song in my life. It just popped up out of nowhere. But I have a request here of these two lovely people. I'm known for using hyperbole. For this one.
How can you face me?
Yes, indeed. Indeed. How can you? How can you?
After what I've gone through, all on account of you, tearing my heart in two. Have you no conscience? How could you be so bold? Why have you grown so cold after the lies you've told? No one now seems to be on the level. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Since I found that my angel was just a lying devil. Why do I love you? Why did you teach me how? After you broke each vow, woman, how can you face me now? Below, how can you face me? How can you look me in the eye, you devil? Not even wearing your monocle. Oh, no one now seems to be on the level. Since I found that my angel was just a lying devil, why do I love you? Why did you teach me how? After you broke each vow, woman, how can you face me? How can you stand it? How can you face me now?
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Sweetness here. It's time to let's see what we can do with this thing. Here we go. Okay. It's time to change the mood a little bit. Pacing. Pacing is everything in life. That's what she said. Yes. It's one of my descriptions of jazz, you know. Some guys play jazz and they're so eager. And everything's got to be boom, bang, crash right away. Zap, 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 you know, boom, 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 bang, ooh, yeah, gonna kill her. Everything's a killer. And I tell them, I said, you know, you guys, you play jazz. You know, you guys, you remind me of a traveling salesman, you know, who's trying to pick up a chick and get her into the sack. And I said, you know, he picks her up and he says, you know, I'm only going to be here. I'm leaving. I'm only here for the day. I got to leave very early in the morning. Oh, okay. And I'm dancing as fast as I can. And he finally gets her up to the room, you know, and he says, okay, baby. And he says, can I have a little drink? Okay, they send for room service, a couple of brandies, you know. Here, down the hatch, baby. How about playing, couldn't we have a little romantic music? Okay, the record, he's got his little portable record player, you know, he's playing, you know, and it's a little bit like that.
you can't get there. It's got to sort of, music, like anything else in life, it's sort of get there in its own pace, you know. And I don't know why I tell you this stuff. You're not going to pay any attention anyway.
Yeah, we want to know the
Of course
final.
not. Of course not. It's okay.
So we didn't hear the final.
Yes. And every now and then we might discover our captain of the hussars at 4 o'clock in the morning sipping Clicquot or Veuve Clicquot from a demoiselle's slipper, having danced the night away to Strauss waltzes. But that was then, and now was now. The song concerns itself with 1930. 1930, our officer of the Hussars was no more an officer. He lived in rather straitened circumstances in one of the less prepossessing rings of Vienna. You know that Vienna is divided in, you knew this of course, Vienna is divided into rings much as Paris is divided into arrondissements. And he lived in one of his address was not considered to be one of the more elegant addresses. He lived in, matter of fact, he lived in a 4th floor walk-up and in a one-room. And his bed was the kind that folds in and out of the wall. In the States, they call it a Murphy bed. And I once actually had a room like that, and I found it to be a wonderful convenience. I happen to be in the neighborhood. Yes, Mom. I happen to be in the neighborhood, and I thought I'd stop off and deliver you a cherry and prickle pear pie. And oh, gee, Mom, that'd be great. Everything fold the bed in the wall, done. Oh, I'm glad to see you. It's very airy in here and nice. And yeah, Mom, it's great. And anyway, our officer of the Hussars, every night he had to prepare to go to work, the only work he could find. And we see him each evening preparing to go to work, and he's wearing what they call in Austro-Hungary was called smoking, or der smoking, articles are tricky. Der smoking, which of course you would call a dinner jacket in the in Britain, and a tuxedo in the United States. His is a little shop worn, but it doesn't matter where he works, it's dark, so you can't see too much. And we see him standing in front of his mirror, and he's inspecting his pomaded widow's peak. And then he goes down and he twirls the ends of his mustaches, plural, because if you have only one, it tends to impede your sense of balance. And then he examines the Nelke, carnation, which he pinched from a neighbor's window box, which he has in his lapel. And his hands, everything's good. His hands run down the crease in his ooh, very good. The pants were pressed between 2 damp Turkish towels under his mattress. And then with patent leather pumps, he gingerly examines from the inside, yep, that blotting paper should hold for another night. And then, last but not least, he inserts a monocle into the socket of his eye and prepares to go to work at a Tanzlokal, where he must pander his talents to the highest bidder. And that's what this song is all about. I will give it a desultory Weimar Republic introduction, fully aware that the Weimar Republic was 600 or 700 kilometers to the north. But there was a certain artistic ferment and indolent, can we say, a bit of a sarcastic comment on the time, the Victorian times, and that had preceded the Second World War. And I will now prepare to give it the Weimar Republic introduction, and then we will be doing this. I will be doing this thing here. Song. Okay. I should really have a little
saddle to do this number with. It would be a good prop. And a riding crop to slap against a boot. That always lends an air of some certain kind of sophistication to the presence. People seem to do your bidding when you're wearing highly polished boots and slapping them with a riding crop. Tarleton, yes sir. See if this mess is cleaned up. Yes sir. Slap, slap, slap. Here we are, Weimar Republic introduction. Despair into the proceeding. Schöner Gigolo, armer Gigolo, denke nicht mehr an die Zeiten, wo du als Husar Gold verschnürt sogar, konntest durch die Straßen reiten. Uniform passé, Liebchen sagt Adieu, schöne Welt, du gingst in Franzen. Wenn das Herz dir auch bricht, zeig ein lachendes Gesicht, man zahlt. Und du musst tanzen. Here the band comes in. That's Otto. He likes his schnapps. And then the saxophone comes in. Saxophone. Ben Webster fan. Just a gigolo. Every place you go, the people know the part I'm playing. Every place I go. Every night some heart betraying. There will come a day, oh, youth will pass away. What will they say about me? When the end comes, I know there's just a gigolo. As life goes on, as life goes on without me. When the end comes, I know, yes, I am just a gigolo. As life goes on without me. Wenn das Herz dir auch bricht, zeig ein lachendes Gesicht. Man zahlt und du musst tanzen. upstairs. I've been handed a note and I've been asked about the Jazz Collector's Mystery Composer. And yes, I'm ready. I know I can play a song by that mystery composer. You didn't stump me this time. Our mystery composer this time is none other than Horace Gerlach. Well, good. Yeah, it's got to see. A couple of people know who he is. Yeah, Horace Gerlach. Do a number that Louis Armstrong recorded. 2 numbers, as a matter of fact. Both largely written by Horace Gerlach, and of course recorded terrific records by Louis Armstrong.
If we never meet again, I'll have a rose to remember. The snows of December will bring you back to me, da-di-da. If we never meet again, I'll fall asleep in the flower there and dream of the hours we spent in ecstasy. The leaves in the fall will recall the beauty I found in your eyes. The birds in the spring, when they sing, will tell me that love never dies in the end. Oh, yeah. Sure as heaven above you, forever I'll love you. If we never meet again. Chill, I feel such a thrill. Feet won't keep still when they swing that music. Music like that has me in a trance. You can't blame me for wanting to dance. From what I understand, oh, it must be just grand. When a band, when they swing that music, I'm as happy as I can be. When they swing that music for me, sweet game, that down, that down, turn it up. I'm as happy as I can be when they swing that music, jump that music, swing that music for me, dun, 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 dun. Playing off music they used to have. That's it, playing off music. Thank you very much. You've been a wonderful audience. And now it's time to look for somebody's earrings. I have an announcement to make. Someone has lost an earring. It's like that. The earring is 1/8 of an inch in size. Anyway, if you find an earring, just give it to...
It belongs to me.
I wish you wouldn't give everything about yourself away. You promised me you would. I promised you wouldn't flirt. Honestly. We were going to have such a nice weekend together. Oh dear. Yes, it's one. And what was the other announcement? Turn in your badges. What do you think we are? Think this society is made of money? Just walk away with these things? These are going to be used next year. You're going to get the same thing back. If you're not good, you'll get somebody else's. Yeah. So these, the management had asked me that you turn in the. Come on, you cheapskates. Turn the badges back in. That's it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you've been a wonderful audience. Really, you have. I was really in trepidation when I came down here because usually when you play for an audience of critics, you know, who know the music and everything like that, they're very unye-bending. Heard that before, yeah. They talk to each other. All they used to come up to you and he said, you know, I had that, you know, you remember so and so used to do that, and they in order to make you feel good, they tell you how they used to have a record by such and such, and gee, that was really great. And instead of telling you that, you know, coming up and saying, gee, we really liked your performance, thank you very much, and here's a blank check. They come and tell you, you know, did you ever hear the Bobby Darin version of that? It's really terrific. You ought to get it. Seriously, that's what they do. Everybody's an expert, you know, and so I was in trepidation. I thought, oh God, here they've heard everything. I'm thinking, oh yeah, I have that record by Smith Ballou, or I have it by this guy or that guy, and it's much better. And why didn't you play the verse? You know, Rosemary on her record, she's with Guy Lombardo. She sings the verse, and like that. But no, you're not like that. You're just like an oil painting. No, you're very good, and I'm now going to get away from the microphone and tend to my own business. Thank you.
Okay.